What's up, y'all? We are back to do the rainbow spread for the second half of Pisces season and see how we are flowing through the energies for these next 2 weeks. I'm recording this on the Virgo lunar eclipse, so shout out to y'all for eclipse season. If you're sick, oh my gosh, like, I'm sick ish. I have no idea exactly. I had like a weird fever. I had a little bit of a tickle and a cough, but I'm mostly okay. I want to get into this reading for the second half of Pisces season because it feels so fun. There's a lot of fire energy here. And I'm just excited because, as we are kind of closing out the eclipses, there's been big shifts for all of us, especially in regards to identity, our social identities, whether that is externally or internally, right? I'm going to be calling this one Building the Confidence to Shine. Because, like I said, there's a lot of fire energy here, and it starts off with the Three of Wands and the New Horizon. So, this is the container for our energy, or where we are most focused on stepping into the second half of Pisces season. And whenever I see the Three of Wands, it just feels like very hopeful, very wishful. It's about vision, it's about seeing potential ahead of you, but it's at a distance. I think right now, especially, a lot of us may be focused on kind of the potential that we see to have a new rebirth, like a personal rebirth, right? Especially in regards to like your personal expression. It's at a distance, like I said, so there are actionable steps that need to be taken to help us get further or get closer to this new vision of that we see of self rebirth, personal rebirth. And it's also being clarified with this New Horizon card, which is the Fool. I think a lot of us are looking forward to some new beginnings that are coming that are not so far away, especially once we get into Aries season. That's the very first sign of the zodiac. It's really the energetic new year. And I think a lot of us, once we step into that time, we are wanting to have a rebirth. We are wanting to have a personal renaissance, I think we can see that ahead of us, but we are kind of uncertain a little bit with the steps that it takes to get there. Or we just see that we're about to be in this new world, and because of that, there is a focus on self that's really coming in because we're moving into the Sun card, and the hell yeah in the reverse. So the Sun card, this position is like the healing. This is how we're actively kind of using our energy at this time. So moving from the Three of Wands, which is kind of the focus for our energy, we see a new vision ahead of us, especially in regards to really aligning with our full authentic selves. The Sun, it is the energy of being seen. It's the energy of being validated. It's the energy of being or having warmth kind of covering you and supporting you and uplifting you, right? It's also like your personal vitality. There is a sensitivity to perception that comes with the Sun card because you're just being seen, and this is the energy that's really needing to be healed, or what we are healing or how we are processing kind of, the new beginning that's impending. And so having the Sun card here, it really feels like a lot of us are addressing issues or discomfort with visibility, right? Visibility in regards to kind of having a rebirth, a renaissance, starting over and kind of aligning yourself with things that people would not expect you to align with, that could really cause people to tense up a little bit, especially if you kind of desire and to express yourself in a way that is outside of like the social norm, because there is just that tension of going against the grain. So the hell yeah, this is the Six of Wands, and it's coming through in the reverse. And it's funny that the Six of Wands is coming on top of this Sun card because I feel like both of these cards have very similar energetic quality in regards to just like having this feeling of success, having this feeling of achieving something, of recognition, right? Um, Typically with the Six of Wands, there is a sense of camaraderie, you know, a sense of people who are affirming you and validating you and congratulating you for some type of personal success. So in the reverse here, this is the sensitivity to kind of that external validation or affirmation, right? The Six of Wands on top of the Sun card, the Sun, you're very seen. You're, you know, you're being seen completely as who you are. And with the Six of Wands in the reverse, it's like, are you able to affirm yourself in this path that you're going, in this direction that you're going? If, you know, your external situation or external circumstances don't validate you. There is a need to be able to count a win as a win because it's for you. You know what I mean? It very much feels like an example that I want to put forward is this work that I do right now, you know, being somebody who is like more spiritually inclined and kind of into like the tarot and the astrology of it all. That is not quite mainstream. I feel like it's picking up traction at this point, but on a large scale, people don't find value in that. But that doesn't take away the joy and the passion and just the inspiration that I get when I engage with this creative passion of mine. And so this is the main focus for us right now as a collective, is being able to have that sense of self-affirmation if your external reality does not want to validate you, and feeling confident in that no matter what, you know? Because from there we move into the success, the highlights that are coming through for us within these next 2 weeks of Pisces season. And we've got the Knight of Swords, and we have the Intention card in the reverse, which would be the Ace of Pentacles. And so with the Knight of Swords, I love this coming through because it just feels like a sense of conviction to kind of speak our truth, speak our beliefs. Court cards have like levels of mastery, you know, they have like levels of proficiency within their suit. And so to move from a page to a knight definitely reflects that process of leveling up in regards to like confidence and understanding of the suit. And swords would be about your thoughts, your perception, you know, kind of how you create meaning out of your reality. And with the Knight of Swords, you're communicating something very quickly and also very sternly. You know what I mean? You have a perspective, a belief system, a truth that is very real, and you are using that to stand up for yourself, to stand up for your boundaries, you know? This is part of the success that is coming through, and it is in connection with this Intention in the reverse, the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. And I think this is so interesting because it really feels like saying no. You know what I mean? Where the Ace of Pentacles is oftentimes a brand new opportunity to, you know, plant a seed and build towards a long-term goal. But Pentacles could also relate to like your personal values, like your self-worth or your guiding principles. And this really feels like a moment where, you know, you're finally confident enough to say no to, you know, something that somebody wants you to commit to or build towards, right? Or even if like, say that this is not like somebody's offering you something in this moment. This is more so like finally being able to understand what you determine to be valuable or meaningful, or, you know, what long-term goals that you want to build towards that are in alignment with you passionately, and also in alignment with your needs for emotional support or fulfillment, right? Because we do also have an Ace of Cups in this spread that we're going to get to. But yeah, like I said, this feels like saying no. This feels like finally like deciding what your values are. And then conversely, which is an interesting thing, this could even be some of us picking up something, picking up an opportunity that we might have said no on before, right? It feels like a flip of perspective and just a newfound confidence to actually take on this thing, to commit to this thing. Um, because it feels like before, in the past, we were just a little bit too sensitive of what people would think, when they see us aligned with this thing that, you know, may not be the same as the socially kind of defined standard, right, for success or for meaning or value. So, yeah, I love this moment with the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Like I said, either is like a saying no, or this is like finally saying yes to something that you have said no to before because, you were afraid of how it reflected on you. So moving into the grounding energy, we've got the Strength card, and then we have what I want, which is the Five of Wands. So this is how we're going to ground ourselves within the energy of, the second half of Pisces season. And I love it with the Strength card. Like I said, there's so much fire in this energy. And we have the Strength card and we have the Sun. Both of these are Leo cards. Both of them have to do with just like our ego desire and like a deep sense of soul purpose. You know what I mean? Like the things that light your fire, that spark your curiosity and spark your sense of like action, So the Strength card is being in alignment with that, letting yourself love what you love and enjoy what you enjoy and not having to repress that, not trying to hold that back, And with the Five of Wands on top, this is great because I always see this energy as like the need to advocate for your own will. I think it's easy with the traditional tarot imagery or definitions to see the Five of Wands as like this energy of conflict, but it always reminds me of like a sports team where everybody has to play the game to win. You know what I mean? So when you go from the five to the Six of Wands, this is the win. But in the reverse, the win might be just personal. You know what I mean? Like everybody doesn't have to think that it's cool. Everybody doesn't have to think that it's exciting. And also it's just there's a unique desire or purpose that you want to move towards, and there could be other people who seem like that they want the same thing as you, but at the end of the day, you don't know their inner purpose or their inner reason for wanting to put themselves out there for this thing. All you know is what you want, and that's all you need to focus on. There is a need for you to kind of step away from this energy of comparison, or this energy of feeling like you have to like keep up with the Joneses, or the other one that I think of is like when in Rome, do as the Romans do. With this Strength card and this Five of Wands, this is being completely solid in just what you want. It doesn't matter what other people want for themselves. Like, you have a unique soul. You have a unique purpose. You have a unique ego. And it only makes sense to go for the things that you want, because that is what's going to bring you satisfaction, you fulfillment. It's not about the image, right? It's not about the perception or the projection, because I feel like that can get so lost, especially within like a capitalist conditioned society. You know what I mean? That could be so focused on the material things. And I think this is a flip, right? Where it's not that the material things don't matter, but it's like there is a cross-referencing process here where you're realizing that in order for the material things to be meaningful, they also have to be in alignment with your water and your fire, right? Your needs for emotional fulfillment, and also um, your creative drive, right? Your uh, personal fire. Whatever you do, whatever you commit to, whatever goals that you desire to build towards, they have to align all of those things. Otherwise, it's not going to be sustainable, you know? So, yeah, this is for the grounding. The strength card with the Five of Wands. This is letting yourself want what you want and advocating for that. And don't repress anything. You know, this is about fully being ourselves. Like I said, building the confidence to shine. This is exactly what this is about. So we're going to move into the serenity, how we can cultivate more peace. And we have that Ace of Cups, like I was saying before. And then we have the check card in the reverse, which is the Nine of Wands. So this, I feel like, is such an interesting position here with this combination of cards. Because this is how we can cultivate more peace the second half of Pisces season. And with the Ace of Cups, this is truly the opportunity to have your emotional needs met and satisfied and deeply fulfilled, right? But it comes with this energy of the Nine of Wands in the reverse, where, hold on, wait, that's so weird. Sorry. Sorry. It comes with this Nine of Wands in the reverse energy, where you feel tense. You feel activated, you feel triggered in a way, and I think it's because you're going against the social expectation, you're going against the social framework of who you should be, how you should express yourself, you know what I mean? And, you know, on one hand, you are actually finally getting the opportunity to have some deep needs met and fulfilled. But on the other hand, it tenses you up, it makes you nervous, it makes you anxious because you've been here before, you know? This kind of Nine of Wands in the reverse energy asks you to sit within discomfort so that you can make so that you can respond in a meaningful way rather than react in ways that you have in the past, right? So in this type of scenario here, with this Ace of Cups and this Nine of Wands in the reverse, this would be like the moment where somebody offered you something, right? And maybe you did want it, but you turned it down instead because you were too afraid of how you would be seen socially, right? You knew that people externally would not validate this decision, so you let it go. But because you let it go, that you in turn, you know, let go of the opportunity, the opportunity to be deeply satisfied and fulfilled. So you're choosing that now, right? And because you're choosing that, you're gonna get activated. But you're supposed to get activated, and you're supposed to sit with it long enough so that you can rewire yourself, rewire your nervous system, you know? Really align with a path of making authentic decisions and being yourself fully and completely and unapologetically, right? I really feel like it doesn't matter what other people say when you're being so filled on an emotional level. Who cares if it's not what people think that you're supposed to do or supposed to be? If you're happy, you know what I mean? Like that's always like one of the biggest things that I get so confused about with people is that they're so worried about what other people think, and they're so needing to have other people's permission to just be themselves. And you don't need permission to be yourself. And if people don't like that, who cares? Oh my God, it reminds me of that saying. It's those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. And that's exactly what this is. Because when you are getting everything you want and making decisions based on what you truly desire, you know, if people care, if people are offended by that, then they don't matter. But if they're happy for you, then they do. So we're going to go into the last position. It's the message from Spirit. We have the Hermit, and then we have perfectly in place in reverse, which is the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. So basically the message from Spirit these next 2 weeks of Pisces season is talking about this self-reflective journey that we're going down. There is a personal path that we are discovering for ourselves that we are aligning to despite like external pressure or external expectations. I think about the traditional imagery with the hermit, and it has the older person with the lantern that has a star, and it reminds me of the North Star, or it reminds me of like having your own set of guiding principles, right? That really inform what goals that you desire to build towards, and just what kind of vision that you have for your life in general. But it's very personal. The hermit, it's like the walking alone, going to the cabin in the woods by yourself so that you can just be in your own energy. And this is kind of what's going on here. It's like discovering how to be in your own energy and sit in that despite the external pressure, despite the external expectation. And in combination with this Three of Pentacles in the reverse, this is about perfectionism, right? This is about efficiency and progress. I feel like, at this moment, as we're making these shifts and walking down this different path that's completely our own, you might feel like you're lost. You might feel like you're uncertain where the next steps are, or, if you're making progress. But I really feel like there's a message that is reassuring you that even if you can't see the material, physical progress right now, that doesn't mean that you're not making energetic progress to where you want to go, right? Coming back to this Three of Wands that was at the very beginning, where we see this potential ahead of us, where we see this vision for ourselves. That's brand new, but while we're walking towards that, it kind of feels like walking in the dark. And it's not about knowing every step that's ahead of you. It's about feeling where your heart wants to go. To feel good is to feel God. That is a quote that I've gotten from another spiritual creator that I will always repeat because it's so powerful. If it feels good, then you're feeling God. So also with this Hermit card, this could be a rearranging of personal values, personal beliefs. I also feel like it's important to, communicate that if there are other people kind of involved here, that it's important not to take their values on for yourself, right? Especially if they're not trying to build towards the same thing that you're trying to build towards. Externally it can look the same, but internally it's not, right? So it's about the internal alignment, and you'll know from the people that feel good, right? And the people that actually cheer you on and amplify you for just being yourself. So yes, we are actualizing at this moment. It is definitely a journey. It's definitely a little bit, it causes a little bit of tension or anxiety to make new decisions that are completely your own, that go against the grain. But this is for your highest good, right? And it's for you to move into this next chapter, being able to feel confident in who you are completely and make your own decisions, that they aren't fear-based, and they don't need you to have external validation or permission to be you. So I did pull two. I pulled a card from the Barbie Oracle, and I pulled the Ken card, and I love this. This is so cute. Okay, it says peanut butter and jelly, cereal and milk, Barbie and Ken. Some things are just classic. When Ken came onto the scene in 1961, he became an instant companion for Barbie on her adventures, but also helped expand the imagination as to what a doll could be. Over the years, Ken has developed his own unique, fun line of outfits and careers, becoming more diverse and inclusive in the process. Though the relationship between Ken and Barbie has evolved over the years, one thing remains true. He's a supportive, loving pal to Barbie and her biggest champion in life. Finding a dependable plus one, whether that's a partner or a best friend, is essential to navigating the ups and downs of life. Whoever your Ken is, never miss an opportunity to give them their kudos and a big hug. Oh my god, I love this so much. Because on one hand, it feels like some people are the Ken, right? And you're becoming your own person. You're becoming your own character. You are leaning into your own uniqueness and finding yourself, right? And then for other people, I feel like navigating through this time, having, somebody like Ken, or having your own Ken, your own companion, your own support system is going to like hold you down and ground you. But I also feel like for some folks, like there may be a Ken for you that is inspiring you to align with yourself in this way. And then I'm going to pull one more from the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit and see what we need to know from the animal spirits, any energy we need to know, be aware of, or possibly embody for the second half of Pisces season. Whoa. The octopus. I pulled this one so many times, and it feels pretty relevant. I'm going to pull the passage from the book. I forgot there was a card in there. I hate when I do that. Octopus. Okay. Octopus. Reaching, yearning, lacking boundaries and direction. The octopus signifies a wonderfully perceptive mind paired with a lack of healthy boundaries. Unfortunately, this results in well-intended but messy relationships. The octopus entwines itself into other people's business and shares their own without restraint. They believe that's what it means to be close. If you notice, after spending time with someone, that you feel drained or uneasy, the essence of octopus is at play. Begin to establish healthy boundaries. Be patient and firm. It may be a very old habit to change. When in balance, it's interested, engaged, and intelligent. When out of balance, it's needy, clingy, and it lacks courage. To bring into balance, space to oneself and talk therapy. Okay, space to oneself. That's the hermit, right? You need that space to yourself to know what you want, right? Not to be able to discern what you want that is different from the expectations that are being put on you externally, right? It also says, blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, this first passage up here says, reaching, yearning, lacking boundaries and direction. And I feel like with this Knight of Swords and this Ace of Pentacles in the highlight, the success, this is being able to set boundaries for yourself, and separate kind of what you decide to build towards and being able to see like what's yours and what other people are trying to put on you, right? All right, so that is the message. I think this is a pretty good one. I'm really excited for these next 2 weeks of Pisces season. Like I said, we're coming off of eclipses, and there's been big social identities that have been changing. So if this is your story, definitely give me a like. Definitely comment down below how this is showing up for you. Subscribe if you want to follow for more readings in the future, and definitely share this if you think it'll be helpful for somebody as we, go through these next 2 weeks. And that's pretty much all I want to say. I'm not really good at the social media stuff, but I'm working on it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.